Down goes Deontay Wilder. Wilder getting knocked out by Zhilei Zhang in round 5, the fastest loss of his entire boxing career. Started his career 42-0-1. Wilder has now lost 4 of his last 5 fights. As for Zhang, it's the 22nd knockout of his career. He improves to 27-2-1 overall. And for more on the big heavyweight showdown in Saudi Arabia, we say hello to CBS Sports combat sports analyst Brian Campbell. Okay, BC, an absolutely fantastic finish for Zhang, but the fight itself didn't seem like a lot was going on there. What did you see?
No, a dreadful, tense fight. This is the other side of the heavyweight division, which we know for big fireworks, but sometimes the delivery systems to get there don't live up to expectations, and that's what we saw for Deontay Wilder, the former decorated, longtime WBC champion who comes in with that reputation as one of the biggest punchers in the sport's history. But what he needed to do on this evening was save his reputation here at age 38. We saw a lifeless performance from Wilder back in December when he lost to Joseph Parker, and we saw a continuation of that here. It's tough to pinpoint what exactly has gone wrong for Wilder, along with age, right? And the damage he took in his 2 losses to Tyson Fury. Maybe it was that ayahuasca spiritual retreat he went on late last year that brought peace to his life. But when he has peace in his personal life, what we've seen in the ring is a failure to launch, or even obviously a bigger failure to connect. I don't take joy in watching such a decorated, menacing champion essentially have an inability to let his hands go. But as much as when we talk about a fighter being past his days, we talk about the chin usually, sometimes it's also just you can see what's in front of you, but your mind can't activate the body to let the hands go with punches coming back. This was a dreadful performance from Wilder. And when we're talking about the ideas of retirement, it's not just something you should take seriously. This is now 2 fights in 4 or 5 months where we see he's well past it.
This would seem to be the end of Deontay Wilder, at least at the upper echelon of the heavyweight division. But he didn't speak after the fight, so we haven't heard from Deontay Wilder. What appears to be next for him in his boxing career?
Well, this was such a weird and unique situation, right? We know what's going on in Saudi Arabia, so much money being put into the sport and so many dream matchups being made. But Wilder had a fight scheduled already for August 3rd. It's going to take place in Los Angeles. It's the first Saudi Arabia promoted card on U.S. soil. But he was supposed to be taking on Jared Anderson, the unbeaten American heavyweight prospect known as Big Baby, in a fight that I just can't see now can continue to go on and happen with Wilder losing twice in 4 or 5 months and looking this badly. You'd have to think retirement is in his future, even though the paydays out there could be tremendous. But what everybody was hoping for was we were going to finally get the fight that never happened, the one that was 10 years in the making, Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder. Once again, though, those performances make it where it's just not viable. Wilder not letting his hands go. He came in at only 214 pounds. You can see the skinny legs. He just didn't look physically or mentally to be in there. And it's tough to see. You have to remember this man's history. He was 19 years old, stocking shelves overnight in a grocery store when his young daughter was born with illnesses, needed money. He picks up boxing. He wins a bronze medal at the Olympics, then turns pro, and without the requisite technique and normal, let's say, boxing skills that we see, he carried that big right hand all the way to a world title, made more than 10 defenses, made huge money in blockbuster pay-per-views, including that trilogy against Tyson Fury. It's been the American dream. It's been an incredible story for the Bronze Bomber. But that story looks far over at this point.
Yeah, heck of a career, perhaps a big-time overachiever, Deontay Wilder. It looks like the top of the heavyweight division is pretty much set, at least in the near term. We're going to see a rematch for the undisputed 4-belt title coming up later this year. Where does this win leave Zhilei Zhang in his career? He's not a young man. He's in his 40s now.
Yeah, look, he had been built so slowly as a young prospect that nobody took him seriously. Credit to Big Bang Zhang, as he likes to call himself, for getting serious. He brought on American trainer Sean George. He's become an elite threat. He'll get a big payday off of this. But even though it looked like he wanted Anthony Joshua next, Joshua seems to be lined up with Daniel Dubois, who in tonight's co-main event knocked out Filip Hrgović to score the interim IBF title. Let's see Anthony Joshua against Dubois later in the year. We know we have Usyk Fury 2 in December for all 4 belts, but Big Bang Zhang is going to get a big one, whether that's a rematch with Joseph Parker, who just beat him in a controversial fight 2 months ago, or not. Either way, big business at heavyweight, and with Saudi Arabia financially fueling these matchups, there's no matchup that can't be made, in my opinion, right now in boxing, and that's an exciting time for a fan.
Look, Big Bang Zhang using that big bang to knock out Deontay Wilder in the 5th round of this fight. Is that his MO? Is he kind of like Wilder, like he's a one-punch guy? Because Zhang, big dude, too.
He's closer to Wilder than he is, let's say, Alexander Usyk, where he does rely on the big power. But Zhang is sneaky. He's got very good technique. He's 6'6", a southpaw from China. I mentioned that it took him a while to put his game together. The only really shortcomings of late for him in recent years has been a bad gas tank. But you saw that he came in 11 pounds lighter for this fight than he did just a couple months ago against Parker. It's tough to see him, in my opinion, outpointing the true elites in this division. But anybody just short of that, he's a knockout threat. He can handle himself as a boxer. He's had a couple tough wins where he hasn't looked great in there, but he's got a gaudy record, and this is arguably, you could say, the biggest win of his career. He will advance from this and get a very big opportunity.
He's got a big frame. Look, he's facing another 6'6" guy in Deontay Wilder, and he outweighed him by like 60-plus pounds at the weigh-in. Do you think that factored in at all? And could Zhang use to maybe lose a couple of those pounds?
No, I really like the shape that Zhang was in. I've seen him more overweight. I mentioned the cardio issues. In fact, look, he's had fights where he admitted afterwards he didn't drink water throughout all of training camp, didn't realize the importance of it. So he's had an up and down run, but he can punch, he can box. I think when he takes his cardio seriously, it raises the level of threat. Look, if he goes in there and can advance, let's say, to an Anthony Joshua fight, he's still a wild card. Heavyweights age differently. No one's concerned about the 41 next to his name. You're really just concerned, can he continue to stay the course, put in the work, and be a big-time threat over 12 rounds? I say he can be. He's in this title picture.
All right, that's CBS Sports combat sports analyst Brian Campbell. BC, thanks so much for the knowledge. Much appreciated. Deontay Wilder, if this is it, well, it's been trending that way for a while. Deontay Wilder began his career 42-0-1, and you'll see here he lost 4 of his last fights, including a 5th-round KO in Saudi Arabia on Saturday.